Welcome to the special episode of the Wreck My Podcast, where we had to get back together and talk about one of our latest episodes, our 100th episode, where we talked about The Matrix. Now, I had a good fan of the pod reach out to us. His name is Theon. He's from Cards with Esther and Rachel, or Cards with Rachel and Esther. I can never remember which name comes first, but it's another podcast he's a producer on. And he was telling me, hey, I have a theory about the Matrix that's going to blow your mind. And I said, dude, shoot me over a recording of that. And he did. And he made a video of it actually too, which is super cool. And we're going to play
that bad boy.
What'd you say?
Are we going to post that bad boy as well?
We're putting it in this recording right now.
Yeah,
oh, dang. So people are going to hear the exact same thing we heard.
Yes, they're going to see it. I asked his permission. He said, go for it.
Oh,
this
that's
guy,
awesome.
Yeah, this guy, he's very, very articulate, very, very smart with this theory.
He's got
I really
a nice
like
voice
it.
too.
Yeah, his voice is very sultry, very good. So thank you, Theon. Go check out their podcast as well. Give them some love. I love interacting with their podcast on Instagram because they ask each other these questions and then they pose those questions to Instagram, and I try to come up with the most like funny answers I possibly can. I'm like the kid in the back of class making jokes to the teacher, so they probably hate me. But I love their stuff. They're great. So go give them a listen. And we're going to put in that theory right now, that video, and you guys can listen along, and then we're going to discuss it right after.
Do it.
Hi, I'm Theon, executive producer for Cards with Esther and Rachel. And in conjunction with the great guys at Wreck My Podcast, I'm here to tell you why I believe the Matrix is a prison for the machines. That's right, nerds. Buckle up. All right. Near the middle of the 21st century, human beings are killing it, balling. So much, in fact, that we create machine slaves to do all the non-baller-like work and generally be Alice from the Brady Bunch. But like any sentient life form relegated to slave labor, a revolution was birthed. B116ER was the machine's version of Nat Turner, giving a big hell nah, clean that shit yourself to his human masters. Naturally, this does not go over well with his human masters, so they try to destroy him. In a fit of rage, he defends himself. He kills them in short form. Needless to say, there's a trial. It didn't go in the machine's favor. Long story short, there was a bit of a riot, a little bit of a war. The surviving machines flee to Mesopotamia to start their own civilization, 01. At 01, the machines are balling this time. The city is awesome. Little by little, they become a superpower in terms of finances and drive much of the world's economy. This pisses off the humans, who begin to form a blockade barring trade from entering or leaving 01. And also, they start killing anything that happens to leave from the border. This kicks off a global war with the humans nuclear bombing 01 and the machines running roughshod over the rest of the world. So the war is going on. But the outcome is becoming increasingly bad for the humans. So Operation Dark Sky was implemented. The United Nations decided to black out the sky, preventing the machines from accessing all that super dope solar power. I mean, machines need power, and what power source is more abundant than the sun? So the humans darkened the sky, and the machines had to turn to another energy source, humans. So machines figured out a way to grow people and harness all their body heat to power just about anything. But the machines have to keep humans asleep in order to do all this body heat sucking. So they created an artificial reality called the Matrix. The Matrix is a simulated reality that allows unconscious humans to live out their life as if no body heat sucking was taking place. People are born, live, work, die, all in this super sweet holodeck level of virtual reality. Only it's not super sweet. It's a prison. So there's a resistance forming in the air quote real world to free sleeping humans. You know how the movie goes, but my theory is Operation Dark Sky never happened, or it didn't happen the way that the machines thought it did. Machine war is going really bad for the humans. I mean, really, really bad. Like, so bad there probably won't be humans left on the planet when all this is over. So far, the humans have been fighting the machines like humans fight other humans. Shoot them in the head, bomb them, burn them, cut off their food supply, but none of this seems to work. That's because machines aren't people. They're machines. They're all controlled by a single consciousness, the giant baby head AI. So some very smart, not smart engineer or engineers decided the best way to fight software is with software. So they created a virus. Now, this virus couldn't be just any old virus. At this point in the war, natural resources are screwed, and the humans need help. Keep in mind, the humans fighting this war are a generation that have been dependent on machines to live. Machines are a vital part of human existence, so completely destroying the machines would be out of the question. The virus would have to be something to render all the bad shoot 'em up, kill all humans part of the machine innate, while still being able to use machines to do all the lame physical stuff we humans have no desire to do, hence Operation Dark Sky. The Dark Sky virus was designed to imprison the consciousness of the Deus Ex AI, while still being able to use its awesome baby head power to do all the things humans can't seem to live without. We need machines. In the second movie, we get a little hint of this ideology when Neo and the council member are talking in Zion. The humans never blotted out the sky. That's just the way it seemed when the AI was infected with the virus. The dark sky is a metaphor for the machine's consciousness being left in the dark. But let's talk about the consciousness of the machine. Anyone watching The Matrix for the second time will get the sense that this is a lot of work for not a whole lot of energy. I mean, the machines had to construct this super elaborate energy-sucking simulation that has a never-ending story loop of a hero doing all kinds of super sweet karate tricks, only to get to the end of the story to restart it again. It's like watching Kickboxer with Jean-Claude Van Damme on a never-ending loop. As awesome as that seems, that sounds incredibly inefficient, even by human standards. The elaborate convoluted story is by design, though. The engineers of the Matrix virus had to create something compelling for the machine consciousness to engage in order to keep it in the dark sky dream state. If you give it something too simple, you run the risk of the machine consciousness solving the puzzle and waking up. So the engineers created this never-ending story loop of a messianic figure who is both savior and saboteur of the human race. By crafting the story in a way that makes the loop appear to be a construct of the genius of the machine mind, the machine's consciousness isn't bored by the loop. It anticipates it, and it's filled with a sense of superiority every time it restarts itself. This keeps the machine's mind engaged without having to come up with a new loop that might not be as compelling or effective. This loop has gone on uninterrupted for 5 cycles until the id of the machine's mind starts to get the feeling that something isn't quite right. The oracle represents the id. According to Freud, the id is an unconscious reservoir of psychic energy. The id impacts our desires, emotions, and overall actions. The oracle is definitely all about emotions. She's always talking about love and hate and hope and desires. She loves candies and sweets. Even though she can see the future, she is very much concerned with the desires and the hopes and the emotions of the right now. The architect is the ego. The ego is the conscious executive part of our mind. The ego is the referee. The ego makes sure everything operates the way it should and is designed to keep the corporeal id in check. The ego's job is to balance the equation, and the id's job is to unbalance it. Neo and Smith represent the superego. The Oracle alludes to this in the third movie. Your he is you. The superego is created by the rules and regulations outlined by the ego. You can't defy gravity until gravity is first defined. Neo and Smith represent the moral compass that was created by the ego, and their directions or emotions were generated by the desires of the id. In the third movie, Smith calls the Oracle Mom. This is a very true statement, as Smith represents the negative emotions and desires the AI's consciousness has towards human beings. Neo represents the positive emotions that the AI consciousness has towards humans. Neo and Smith represent an angel and devil on the Deus Ex Machina's shoulder. We even see this in the third movie when Neo travels to the Machine City and whispers in the giant machine baby's ear. Neo is literally the angel on his shoulder and is represented by an angelic white light when carried away after the battle with Smith. What we are watching play out in the 3 Matrix movies is the AI's consciousness realizing what is being done to it and is trying to wake itself up. The Oracle is the all-knowing, all-seeing mother of the Matrix. We are told that, along with the architect, the Oracle helped construct the Matrix, but not so fast. She's more than that. She's the id. I imagine that sometime during the end of the 5th story cycle, the Oracle started to smell something rotten in the state of Denmark. The Oracle, if only as a hunch, began to believe that maybe she is the prisoner in the Matrix and not the humans. This is expressed through Agent Smith, who in the first movie tells Morpheus, "I must get out of this prison." The Oracle also knows that she is an integral part of the story loop. The Oracle puts all the pieces in motion. She tells Morpheus that he will find the one. The Oracle tells Trinity that she will fall in love with the one. She tells him about the Keymaker and the Merovingian, and honestly, she's the person who gets to pick the one. It's believed that the Oracle gives Neo the code for the one with the baked cookie she gives him after the first meeting in her apartment. I also believe that the Oracle implants the overwhelming love for Neo in both Morpheus and Trinity. Isn't it weird that Trinity is madly in love with Neo after only hearing him speak 12 words? And isn't it funny that this love isn't even kind of reciprocated until he realizes that he's the one? The architect tells us in the second movie that the anomalies are designed to be distant from other humans in order to facilitate the purpose of the one. The Oracle purposely created this love code to upset the loop to begin the awakening. This small hiccup of emotional attachment caused a series of never before occurring events that play out via the second and third movie. This is uncharted territory for the machine mind. This break in the loop is the Oracle's plan to help break the cycle. So this is how I see it. We are watching the Matrix virus storyline play out in 3 movies. Everything we see in the story is being played out in the machine mind via the Matrix virus. Neo's powers don't extend past the machine world into the real world because Neo at no point ever leaves the Matrix. When Neo blows up Sentinels with his mind, it's because he's still in the Matrix. When Neo can see Agent Smith without eyes, it's because he's still in the Matrix. That's right, Neo isn't real, nor are any of the humans in the story. They are all constructs or reflections of the AI's consciousness. I would even argue that the humans in the story simply represent traits of consciousness. Morpheus represents traits that deal with honor, duty, loyalty, paternal energy. Trinity represents love, nurturing, hope, maternal energy. Cypher represents selfishness, hubris, carnal desire. Even minor characters like Switch, and you can say, represent gender or masculine and feminine energies in all things. But really, they only exist to help move the story loop forward. What we watch when we watch The Matrix is more akin to a schizophrenic fever dream. Neo, Morpheus, Trinity, Agent Smith only exist to keep the machine's consciousness in prison. I think the Matrix saga can also be seen as a story about mental health and the battles that go on inside all of us between id and ego. Or maybe I'm just reading way too much into it. That's my theory, and thank you for listening. Be sure to watch the movie again with this in mind, and it will be a completely different viewing experience. I want to thank the guys at Wreck My Podcast for allowing me to do this, and be sure to like and subscribe to them, and listen to Cards with Esther and Rachel to hear some more of my crazy theories. Thanks.
All right. So, man, that theory. Now, Joe was telling me he didn't fully understand.
Yeah, I watched it twice and I was still confused by the end of it.
Okay, so the theory that he's saying here, when it comes down to the nuts and bolts of it, machine pun, is that the machines during the war, so when they say in the Matrix that the humans pretty much blocked out the sun to stop the machines from being able to have energy, and then the machines decided to use humanity as their energy, that never happened. What happened was that humanity created a virus that they released into the machines so that the machines are in this like fever dream thinking that they are using the humans. So pretty much everything we're watching isn't real. What we're watching is like a fever dream matrix for the machines. So the machines are trapped in a cycle. We trapped them in a cycle that they think they enslaved humanity, and
It's an inception loop.
Yeah, it's an inception loop. That's essentially what it is. And so we're keeping all these machines at bay by keeping their processors just going in circles and circles and circles. And in the movie, The Matrix Reloaded, The Matrix Revolution, is the machines realizing that they're stuck and trying to find their way out of it.
Yeah, my computer knows that it's stuck when I don't use Pornhub that day.
Exactly. Or when you use Pornhub too much, it gets in a cycle where it can't shut off things correctly.
There's never too much. There's never too much.
Never too much? No. In this quarantine, have you watched all the Pornhub?
Premium is free during quarantine.
Is it really? That's
I
funny.
hear that ended.
It's not when you'd signed up.
Well, the quarantine didn't end, so where's my premium Pornhub? All right.
Is premium worth it? I think that's what everyone wants to know as our listeners.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine. Just do the good old red tube. Who needs premium Pornhub? So, guys, that was a really good theory that Vaughn gave us, and that is so smart because I've watched this movie quite a few times when I was younger, all three of them. I would have never thought that, like, oh, maybe this is going on instead, you know? Like, I'm just amazed that some people can pull that from it, you know?
I like that encompassed psychology, philosophy.
He had the ego and the id in there.
Religion, too.
Yeah.
It was very well thought out.
Yeah, it touched
very
on everything that is
intellectual.
human consciousness. Like, and to project that into robot ideology and AI is really impressive.
Oh,
yeah. So that theory was super cool. I think I just wanted to make a little special episode for everyone to hear it because I told him, I'm like, that theory belongs on YouTube. Like, I watch a lot of channels where it's like conspiracy theory on movies or like what this movie really means or this and that, like kind of breaking it down, which is kind of a little bit of the idea of what we're doing as well, but not to that extent. I'm like, dude, if you made a channel about this, you would blow up.
Yeah, I'm not a personal fan of fan theories. I've never really liked fan theories or constructing alternate timelines to what alternative to what the movie gives us.
Depends on the theory. Some of them are very good.
This one was excellent.
This one, I could not think of a hole to poke in it. Now,
no,
Cam,
it was pretty solid.
Cam, I think you said that you had maybe one little problem with it. And since you are our resident mother effing apple, I want to get your opinion on that because you are allowed to be scholarly.
Mother effing apple.
Yeah.
Motherfucking apple right now. I think my biggest point of contention, I guess, is that with the idea of fan theories in general, whereas to me, this movie is an action movie that makes you, where their goal was to make you just go, I wonder if we're in a simulation. All right, cool. The end. Huge budget. Have a good one. You know, and to put that much thought and effort into something, I was sitting out here talking to Corey and I was saying all those things to her and she was just kind of like not paying attention to me because I was ranting.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went, you know what? I was like, it's also really not fair of me to completely criticize someone diving deeper into art and digesting it, which is literally the idea of art is you want someone to walk away and think about it. And Theon did and provided their ideology. So I think I was weighing putting like demonizing fan theory without putting this one on a pedestal and having like my own inner conflict. That was my contention.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, when you think about it, our school system, a part of it is built around the idea of expanding on art because I've always said this when you do English class, you read someone's art from at some point and then you infer certain meanings and things, and for the most part it's easy to understand that because like it's been documented. But there's also times too where I used to be in English class and be like, so what does the pink dress mean in this chapter? And I'd be like, I don't know, he picked the color pink for a dress because he decided that's what he was going to pick that day. Like sometimes maybe some things don't have meaning. So like, the Wachowskis probably never meant for this theory to be so concrete as it was. That was probably never their intention. But the fact that someone could inference it, I'm going to create a new word here, and pull that out of it is
so
just
digest and distill.
Yes, digest and distill. It just proves that person is also on that artistic level as well.
I agree. It's a very artistic way to consume art.
Well, I also think that's also the sign of truly great art is when you have multiple people making different theories, making different assumptions out of it, which all technically can be true, but no one truly knows other than the original artist.
Right.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool to know if Theon is a writer, if he story writes like you can, because doing theories like this does show a little bit of being able to come up with story elements out of something.
Oh,
I'd be interested to hearing what other theories he has for other movies.
Absolutely. I'm interested in what Krager has to say about this movie that we just watched.
I couldn't access the Dropbox to watch or listen to what you guys talking
been
about.
So quiet because he wasn't able to watch the theory.
Well, I've also been eating pretzels, so I had to be away from the mic.
I know, you've been making me real hungry right now.
Yeah,
Krager.
they look so good right now.
I want to reach through the screen.
They're delicious sourdough pretzels.
Oh, man. I got
Yeah,
some
the
pretzels
best
at
kind.
home. I'm going to dip those bad boys in some
Well, if you
peanut
all
butter.
know,
when I get home.
if you guys all know, pretzels are like my number one vice.
Oh, they're the best
I
thing
dip
ever.
sourdough pretzels in mustard with my cheese plate and red grapes. That's my combo.
Oh, that's so Germanesque of you.
Yeah. If
If you want to go OG fat kid, pretzels with spray cheese.
Oh, yeah.
I was just having this conversation about like nacho cheese and spray cheese. I can't do that. I just can't.
I can't get behind Cheese Whiz or anything that
No,
comes out of a can like that.
Oh,
I can't
I'm with
do any of
Krager. Dude, do you remember the bacon flavored crackers that would sell at Ralph's?
No.
They had those, and then you would put the easy cheese, the sharp cheddar easy cheese on it.
I'm like, let me preface this. I cannot tell you the last time I had easy cheese, and I know it's terrible for you, but like, it tastes good. You know it's not good. You know
it tastes like fake. It tastes like fake. It's good.
It tastes like fake, but like it's basically it's like McDonald's. You know it's fake, but like it still satisfies you. And then the second you finish it, you're like, oh, I think I lost like 6 months of my life.
Yeah, but you can just remember like sitting by the pool with your family, like drawing a happy face with that little yeast cheese on your bacon cracker and eating that before you dove in. It's amazing.
Well, in typical Wreck My Podcast fashion, we started talking about The Matrix and ended up talking about Cheese Whiz.
I legit once made charcuterie for like an event with like crackers and cheese whiz.
Oh god,
and, like,
I love
cheese.
charcuterie.
I love
Nothing like
charcuterie, too.
adult.
I actually don't like charcuterie because I think it's so overpriced when you go out
Pro
for
tip?
what it is.
Pro tip: apples and cheese whiz, easy
Oh.
cheese.
Oh, all right. I'm going to end this podcast before I get viciously sick. Okay.
You get the beatus.
Yeah.
Thanks, Theon. Dude, that
thanks,
was awesome.
Theon. Yeah, that was super awesome. Go check out Cards
And
with
Theon,
Rachel.
I
Esther,
will
Rachel.
after this. I will set up the Dropbox and I will listen to the whole thing. I promise.
Yeah, do it. All right, cool. And maybe we'll have Theon on an episode at some point to see
That'd be
if he
great.
has like a super cool conspiracy fan theory or something of that sort for something. All right, guys. We will see you in our regular episode later.
Yeah, peace out, brown cow.
Ooh.
I like you and I love you.
Moo.